The rain hammered against the windows of our Seattle home, mirroring the storm brewing inside me. Jasper, a 46-year-old architect, had always considered myself a rational man, a planner. But nothing could have prepared me for the chaos that was about to engulf my life. It started subtly, almost imperceptibly. My wife, Meredith, a vibrant and successful marketing executive, began working later hours. "Big project," she'd say, kissing me quickly on the cheek before rushing out the door. I didn't think much of it at first. Meredith was ambitious, driven. I admired that about her. We had been married for 18 years. We met in college, two bright-eyed kids with dreams as big as the sky. We built a life together, brick by brick, filled with love, laughter, and the comfortable rhythm of shared routines. Or so I thought. The first red flag was the phone calls. Meredith would step outside to take them, her voice hushed, her face averted. When I asked who was calling, she'd brush it off. "Just work," she'd say, a little too quickly. Then came the texts. Late at night, her phone would buzz, lighting up the room with an eerie glow. I tried to ignore it, to trust her, but the gnawing feeling in my gut wouldn't go away. One Saturday morning, Meredith told me she had a conference in Portland. "Just for the day," she said. "I'll be back by dinner." I kissed her goodbye, a sense of unease settling over me. That afternoon, I decided to surprise her. I knew the hotel where the conference was being held. I thought I'd bring her lunch, maybe take her for a walk along the riverfront. It seemed like a nice gesture, a way to show her I was thinking of her. I arrived at the hotel and asked the receptionist for Meredith's room number. She looked at me, a flicker of confusion in her eyes. "I'm sorry, sir," she said. "We don't have anyone registered under that name." My heart lurched. Maybe she was at the conference center itself. I walked over, scanning the crowd for her familiar face. But she wasn't there. A wave of nausea washed over me. Where was she? What was she doing? I drove home, my mind racing, a knot of dread tightening in my chest. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. When I got back, the house felt empty, silent. I wandered through the rooms, my footsteps echoing in the stillness. In the bedroom, I noticed something out of place. Meredith's jewelry box was open, a few pieces missing. She never left it open, and then I saw it, a small, crumpled piece of paper on the floor. I picked it up, my hands trembling. It was a receipt from a restaurant in Portland. A very expensive restaurant. The date and time on the receipt matched the time Meredith was supposedly at her conference. I called the restaurant, my voice shaking. "I'm trying to confirm a reservation," I said. "The name is Meredith." I hesitated. "And a Mr. Sterling." The hostess confirmed the reservation. "Yes, sir," she said. They had a lovely table by the window. Sterling. Who was Sterling? I felt like I had been punched in the gut. The air was thick, suffocating. I sank onto the bed, the receipt clutched in my hand, the reality of the situation crashing down on me. My wife was lying to me. She was in Portland with another man. That night Meredith came home, her face flushed, her eyes bright. "How was the conference?" I asked, my voice flat. "It was fine," she said, a little too casually. "Long, boring." I held out the receipt. "Who is Sterling?" Meredith, her face paled. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. She just stared at me, her eyes wide with panic. I can explain," she stammered. "Explain what?" I said, my voice rising. "Explain why you were having a romantic dinner with another man while you were supposed to be at a conference. Explain why you lied to me." She started to cry. "It just happened," she said. "I didn't mean for it to happen." "What happened, Meredith?" I demanded. "Tell me the truth." She confessed. Sterling was a colleague, a new hire at her company. They had started working closely together, and one thing led to another. It had been going on for 3 months, 3 months of lies, 3 months of betrayal. I felt like I didn't even know her anymore. The woman I had loved, the woman I had built a life with, had been replaced by a stranger. "I'm so sorry, Jasper," she sobbed. "I love you, I don't want to lose you." But it was too late. The trust was broken. The damage was done. "I need you to leave," I said, my voice cold. "I need you to leave now." She packed a bag, her tears streaming down her face. As she walked out the door, I felt a strange mix of anger, sadness, and a profound sense of loss. The next few weeks were a blur. I barely ate, barely slept. I wandered through the house like a ghost, surrounded by memories of a life that no longer existed. I hired a lawyer. The divorce was messy, complicated. Meredith fought for everything she could get. She claimed I was emotionally unavailable, that I had neglected her. It was all lies, of course, but it didn't matter. The truth didn't seem to matter anymore. As I tried to piece my life back together, I discovered more about Sterling. His real name was Quentin, and he was a notorious womanizer. He had a string of affairs behind him, leaving a trail of broken hearts and shattered lives. I also learned that Meredith wasn't his only victim at the company. He had been preying on vulnerable women, using his position of power to manipulate and exploit them. The anger that had been simmering inside me began to boil over. I couldn't let him get away with this. I couldn't let him continue to hurt people. I decided to take action. I started gathering evidence documenting Quentin's behavior. I spoke to other women he had victimized, encouraging them to come forward. It wasn't easy. Many were afraid, ashamed. But slowly, surely, the truth began to emerge. I presented my findings to the company's HR department. They launched an investigation, and Quentin was eventually fired. He tried to deny the allegations, but the evidence was overwhelming. He was also facing legal action from several of the women he had harassed. His career was ruined. His reputation was tarnished. I felt a sense of satisfaction, but it was bittersweet. I had brought Quentin to justice, but it hadn't brought Meredith back. It hadn't erased the pain of her betrayal. As the divorce proceedings dragged on, I received a call from Meredith. Her voice was weak, trembling. "Jasper," she said, "I need your help." She told me she had been diagnosed with breast cancer. It was aggressive, advanced. She needed treatment, but she had lost her job after the affair came to light. She had no insurance, no money. I hesitated. After everything she had done, could I really help her? But then I thought about the woman I had loved, the woman I had promised to stand by in sickness and in health. I couldn't abandon her, not when she needed me the most. I helped her get the treatment she needed. I visited her in the hospital, holding her hand, offering her comfort. It wasn't easy. There were moments of anger, resentment, but I tried to put them aside. As Meredith battled her illness, I saw a different side of her, a vulnerable, scared side. She apologized for her mistakes, for the pain she had caused. She said she understood if I could never forgive her, but she was grateful for my help. I don't know if I ever truly forgave her, but I did find a way to move on, to let go of the anger and resentment, to focus on the present, on the future. Meredith eventually recovered. She underwent surgery, chemotherapy, radiation. It was a long, difficult road, but she made it through. When she was well enough, she moved to another city to start a new life. We stayed in touch, occasionally talking on the phone. There was no romantic spark between us, but there was a sense of understanding, of shared history. I never remarried. I focused on my career, on my friends, on building a life that was fulfilling and meaningful. I learned to trust again, to love again, but I never forgot the lessons I had learned from Meredith's betrayal. The rain has stopped now. The sun is shining, casting a golden glow over the city. I look out the window at the skyline, at the bustling streets below. Life goes on even after the storms, even after the betrayals, and sometimes even after the most painful experiences, there is a glimmer of hope, a chance for healing, a possibility of a new beginning. But the scars remain, a reminder of the fragility of trust and the enduring power of forgiveness. I'm Jasper, and this is my story.